So today's video is going to be filming my February TBR. I cannot believe January is literally almost over. It's like the 25th of January that I am filming this right now. So the way that we're going to do this, I think, is going to be kind of fun. So we are going to be using the prompt jar and probably drawing like 3 or 4 prompts from here. So we're still going to use the prompts, but also I don't know why I haven't done this earlier. And I think there is a prompt in here, though, to do this. But what I'm going to do is we're going to use the random wheel spinner. And I put how many books are on my TBR card. And we are just going to spin the wheel and see what numbers we get. And we're just going to count for how many books that it lands on. Like if it lands on 10, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's how we're going to do it. So we're going to go ahead and spin. I'm going to wait until it hits 1. But I did this when I did like blindly picking my TBR, which I'll probably do maybe in March. But it's just so much fun to film TBR videos, or I might do that later, who knows. But I haven't used the envelope since picking it blindly, but like I said, I want to get through more of my prompts, so I've been trying to use my prompts more, and also like picking the prompts from the envelopes are just a little bit hard to set up. All right, I hit number 1, so let's go ahead and spin and see what our first number is going to be. Oh, and I have 29 books on the card, so there's numbers 1 to 29. Okay, it's so funny that I said number 10 first, but the first number that we got is 9. So let's go ahead and see which book that is. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This one was not on my plans, but we're probably going to pick 3 from the cart, or do this, you know, to pick 3 numbers. So the first one I got is The Humans by Matt Haig, and you know what? I believe that this is a little bit more sci-fi than what I'm used to reading from Matt Haig, because he is not a first-time author to me. If you guys know, I love reading his books. I've read 4 of his books already. He was basically the author. He was the author that got me back into reading and opened up my world to reading more books. And he is the author that I have to thank for that, because I started with The Radleys by Matt Haig, and then I loved that book so much that I ended up reading The Midnight Library. So then I went to pick up this book. They actually took it off of Kindle Unlimited, and I wanted to read this on Kindle Unlimited for so long, but I never ended up getting to it. But the last book that I read from Matt Haig was The Life Impossible. I did actually read How to Stop Time as well, all in that first 2 months that I started reading again. So I read The Radleys, Midnight Library, and what's it called? How to Stop Time. But I've been really curious about reading and this book and also his entire backlist. And also this will help me read more sci-fi this year. So I'm going to, well, it says it's a dark comedy, but I thought it was a little bit like about like aliens. But I don't know. I'll read the synopsis later after we pick the numbers. So that is the first one. So that is very interesting. You know what? I'm actually really excited about that one. Okay, let's go ahead and spin again. So we're probably going to spin 3 times. And then the rest we are going to pick out prompts from the jar. Okay, so we got number 21. Well, actually, now there's only 28 books. We're just going to count, because now there's 28 books. Maybe I should set it to 29. I'll just do that for the last number. It's not a big deal. That's still going to be number 21 regardless. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. I really wanted to get this one. You know what? It's fine. We're probably not going to get to all of these anyway. But I would like to get some books off of my TBR cart this month. We're still going to put them on the TBR. That doesn't mean that we're necessarily going to read them. But we got The Honey Witch by Cindy J. Shields. Now, this one I picked up, I believe, like last September. And by the way, these books are both from Barnes & Noble, so I'll be knocking off some Barnes & Noble buys off of my list, so that would be good too. This one I've heard very mixed reviews about, though. I might not read this, and maybe we'll pick like 6 prompts from the jar, so then like maybe I will swap out some books, because usually I pick about 6 prompts to see what I get. So we'll see. So we got The Honey Witch by Cindy J. Shields. I don't know if we're going to keep that one on there, but we'll see. Okay, now we're just going to spin one more time. And it doesn't really matter. As long as we don't get number 29, it's not really a huge deal. Okay, now we have, the last number is number 7. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are all books I was not intending on reading anytime soon, but hey. Might as well just grab this one off of here. This is the only book, well, actually I have 2, actually 3 that are first books in a series, or actually 4, never mind. I'm lying. Actually 5. Actually, no, 6. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 books that are first books in series. I've been trying to not do that and put, you know, more singular books on the cart. But anyway, we got Curious Tides by Pascal. I can never read her name. Pascal Lascelles. And I also picked this one up from Barnes & Noble, so I guess my, the TBR gods are telling me to read my freaking Barnes & Noble books. I have been really good about reading my Barnes & Noble books the past few months. I mean, of course, we have a number of ones that I haven't gotten to yet, but hey. So this one is a fantasy, and I believe The Honey Witch is a cozy fantasy, so at least we have some variation in what it's picked so far, but I don't know if I'm going to keep any of these books, to be honest, but we'll see. I mean, I just wanted to do it as like a different way of picking, but I think we are done with this for now. So we picked 3 numbers, so now we are going to use my trusty TBR jar in all of its glory. Can you see that how many prompts we've actually gotten it down to? I think we have like maybe less than 30 prompts left in this jar, which is really great because I probably started with maybe over maybe 70 or 80. I don't even know. But I did have this probably like filled up to here before, like up to like this line at least. So we've gone through a lot of them. So I think we're going to pick 6 out of the jar and we'll see what we get. Maybe we'll end up not keeping any of these other books that we kept on the list. I mean, on the ones that I picked from the number wheel, but I wanted to see what we drew. So we're just going to go ahead and pick from our jar, and we're just going to pick totally blindly. Okay. If I could find, you know, which one I want to get. Okay, let's grab, okay, we got this one. What does this one say? Why can I open it? This one says, oh my God, you know what? I just came back from Target, so I'm going to count it as the books that I literally just picked up from Target now. And I actually have a book that I want to read for this prompt. And literally what's so funny is that my boyfriend told me, I asked my boyfriend, like, what prompts do you think I should put in the jar, like, months ago? And one of them was go to the bookstore. I don't know why this one's so, like, jacked up, though, and why it's so, like, tearing in the middle, like, folded, like, but you see how it's, like, tearing, but whatever. I don't even know how to speak, apparently. But I literally just came back from Target. So I'm going to count it because I really do want to read this book in February, and I don't have a thriller on my February TBR, and I just picked this up literally like 2 hours ago. So I think that counts, right? I think it counts because then it avoids me not going to the bookstore. And actually, I'm going to the bookstore to pick up a new release next year. I'm going to Barnes& and Noble to pick up Out of the Woods, and I'm going to talk about that's like a January release, though. It's not a February release, so I guess that doesn't count for February's TBR, but I'm still going to the bookstore to read one of the last January releases that I have to read. But anyway, I'm going to count this book for this prompt, and that is She's Not Sorry by Mary Kubica. I don't even know how to say her name. I'm probably butchering it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. She's not sorry, meaning I'm not sorry. No, but I'm sorry for not pronouncing it correctly. But basically, I just saw this book on Francesca Reed's recommendations video for her best thrillers of 2024, and she said that this one was one of her favorites. So I was so intrigued by this one. I was like, wait, didn't she just talk about this in one of her videos? And she's one of my favorite YouTubers. She's my thriller girly. I go to her to see what she recommends for good thriller reads. And she hasn't really steered me wrong yet, even though some of the Frida McFadden books are kind of up and down. Like, I don't really love some of her favorite ones, but at the same time, like, Frida's like kind of hit and miss anyway with the more books that you read from Frida McFadden. But anyway, we're going to pick this one for this prompt because we're trying to avoid going to the bookstore more. So we're just going to put this in the front of the prologue, and look at the sprayed edges. Aren't these so freaking cool? I mean, this book like was not really in the best condition when I picked it up, but it's just a thriller. And honestly, I might end up returning this, but I'm definitely going to read it in February because, like I said, we actually don't have a thriller on our TBR for February, so this is absolutely perfect. So great. So we already got our first book picked. Now let's go ahead and shake up the jar again. I can't believe we drew that one. It's like, I am really like not going to be going to the bookstore much in February because February is really not a big new release month. So I don't really have that many books to actually pick up in February. So I just can't believe we ended up getting that. All right, let's get this one. Okay, so we have a gray one. Again, the colors do not mean absolutely anything, so they're just very random. Okay. Current fave author. I think I know exactly which one I want to pick. None of them are really a current fave author, though, but this is an author that I've loved reading their books in the past, and I really do want to read this book in February. So I think I'm going to, because he's been a fave author of mine since I read the first book from him, and I've been dying to read more of his books. And actually, this book is on my 25 books I want to read in 2025 as well. So I think I'm going to pick, yeah, I don't think any of the other ones. The only like current fave author that I'm reading is Kristen Hanna, but I'm already reading a Kristen Hanna book. I finally picked up The Nightingale, you guys. That is my current read. I started it today, and I am absolutely loving it, but I didn't necessarily want to put another one of her books on my TBR for February. Like, I feel like to read Kristen Hanna, I really, really have to be in the mood to read her books. But once I pick them up, I absolutely love them. But we are going to pick this one because I have loved this author's writing in the past. And like I said, I'm dying to read this book in February. And I've been dying to read more of his books anyway. And that is House of the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. I really have been wanting to get this on a TBR. And I think February is the perfect time to read this. So we are definitely putting this on as the prompts for this book, because I think that, the book for this prompt, not the prompt for this book. And I think, whatchamacallit, most people like this book more than Under the Whispering Door, but I read Under the Whispering Door first, and like I said, that was my first and only book that I've read from TJ Klune, and like I said, I've been absolutely dying to read more of his books, so 100% putting this on the TBR. And what's so funny is that I picked up the second one today, Somewhere Beyond the Sea, because I had a store credit for returning another book off the TBR cart because I actually found that it was on Kindle Unlimited. So I ended up returning that and putting the store credit towards the second book in this duology, because it is a duology. But I think I'm going to end up reading both of them next month, correct? We will see with how many books I have on my February TBR, or how many books that I've pushed to February, but because I already want to read a long series in February and another duology, so we're just going to have to see, you guys. All right, so let's go ahead and pick another prompt. All right, let's pick it from maybe like over here. Okay, we got this one. We have a pink one. Again, does not mean a thing. Okay, the first two prompts were on my side, but I don't know if I really want to do this one. I don't think I'm going to pick this one. It's period pick, but honestly, I'm not really in the mood to read the one period pick that I have on my cart, so we're just going to pick another one. Maybe we're just going to take that out of here because I really don't want to read that at the current moment. And again, it's my TBR, and people do this all the time. They just take prompts out that they're not really feeling. So let's go ahead and shake it up again. And let's go ahead and pick a different one. Okay, we got this one. Okay, we got another pink one. Again, does not matter. I don't think we have anything that has this prompt. We got angels. I don't think I have anything on my TBR that has angels in them. What about this one? This shelf is already getting smaller. Oh, I forgot that one of my friends that I've been talking to a lot about reading, she's read this book and she said The Nightingale's amazing. So I knew I was going to get so much feedback on me reading it. Okay, I don't think this one has angels in it. No, it does not. It definitely does not. But I actually really haven't read anything with angels in it, so I'd be kind of curious about it. What about this one? I don't think this one does either, even though I really want to put this on my February TBR as well. I don't think it does. Hey Siri. Hey Siri. Does the Night Circus have angels in it?
Okay, I found this on the web for Does the Night Circus Have Angels in It? Check it out.
I really don't think so. I think it's just about the circus. I'm not really sure. I don't think so. I think it's similar to like Caraval, so I don't think it does. So I think we're going to pick another prompt, but the third prompt that we pick, we're going to have to do it. But I am going to put this one back in here. You know what? Let's just put back both of them and see if we draw something else. Sorry about that, but yeah, sometimes I do this where I'm like, oh, draw another one. Okay, let's see. I don't know if this actually does anything, but here we are. Oops. Okay. Let's go ahead and pick a different prompt. Let's pick it from over here. Okay, we got a blue one. Let's see what this one says. Okay. New York Times bestseller. I know there's plenty here. We got Billy Summers, which is a New York Times bestseller. I'm honestly really thinking about just picking this one. I guess we're going to have 2 thrillers. But this is also this is best-selling author. It's not New York Times best-selling book. And then obviously the women. I think that's about it. I think we're just going to put... Oh, wait, this one is. This one is. Duh. Alright, so we have... I know which one I want because I've wanted to put this one on my TBR for forever. And we're finally going to do it. And we don't have a romance on my TBR. So we have Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood. It literally says a #1 New York Times bestseller on the top. So this is definitely going to be our prompt for... I mean, what I keep on saying, our prompt for that, our book for that. And this one I wanted to put on my February TBR because I think this is going to be my Valentine's Day read. Obviously, we need a romance for that. And again, this book has been on my TBR for so long. I've been wanting to get to it for forever. So this is definitely going to be the book for that. And it's just funny how this ends up being the prompt for this. But like a lot of Ali Hazelwood's books end up being New York Times bestsellers. I mean, she's super popular for a reason. And I know I told you guys before, but Ali Hazelwood has been an author that has been really growing on me. And the more and more books I read from her, the more and more I like her writing, which is crazy. Like, I feel like the complete opposite about, like, Riley Sager. But, like, with Ali Hazelwood, I really did not like Bride. And I thought Check and Mate was okay. But Love Hypothesis, I really enjoyed. So I think it's been enough time since I read Love Hypothesis that we can go into Love Theoretically. So I'm actually really, really happy about that. Okay. Let's go ahead and shake it up again. And let's see what we get. Okay. All right. Ow. God, Jesus. Why do I always do that to my freaking nails? All right, let's pick from here. We have a yellow one. It's getting smaller, you guys. You know what? This is so funny that I picked this prompt, but I don't think I have anything that is... And I think I picked this prompt in January, too. And I almost picked up a sports romance today because it literally says sports romance. But I don't think I have anything that's an actual sports romance. So we're going to put this back and pick another one. But I almost picked up Collide today, which is a sports romance. So at least I'm getting most of the books from the middle part because those are the books I wanted to read. So let's go ahead and shake it up again. See what we get. But I'm trying to use TBR cart this month because I know off of my shelves I want to read a series, or 2 series. So like the rest of the books I wanted to read were all going to be for my TBR cart. And what's the point of having a TBR cart if I don't read the books on the cart? So, all right, what's the next one? Okay. Literally got this prompt again. And I think I'm going to actually take the book that actually intimidated me. I honestly don't think I'm going to keep any of the books that we picked from the number wheel. Because none of those... I don't want to read any of those books. Maybe we should have just done the jar anyway, because the jar is so much easier. But I know exactly what... I'm literally just going to move this book from... Move the prompt that I didn't get to and take it out of there and put it back in the jar and just make this this book the prompt for this one in February because I didn't get to read it in January. But now I'm just gonna move it to February. So you guys are probably so tired of me talking about this freaking book, but I'm dying to read it at this point, and that is Brandon Sanderson's Waybreaker. And guess what? We're gonna take the prompt out of here and we're gonna put it right back in the jar, and we're gonna move the author that intimidates me prompt to the Brandon Sanderson book. And I swear to God, if I don't read this book in frickin' February, you guys can yell at me. But I'm sure nobody else cares but me, myself, and I. But we're gonna do it, all right? I can't keep on putting this on every freaking month's TBR. It's going to happen in February, and if I don't, because I'm already reading the Nightingale, which I thought I wasn't gonna get to in January, and meanwhile I'm reading it, and I freaking love it. So I know I'm gonna freaking love this book. So hopefully it will happen this month. So we're just gonna end up putting that prompt in there. And I took the other one out, which was author that everybody loves, which could be Kristen Hanna, but we'll see. All right, 2 more. Okay. Did I say I was going to pick 6 or 8? I honestly don't even remember. Okay. All right, let's pick this one. I think we got another tan one. That's so funny how I end up picking the same color sometimes. Oh, okay. New genre to me. New genre. Well, period piece would be a new genre to me. But I think... I don't even know what genre this is. I think Anxious People might be a new genre to me. I have to look up what genre it actually is. It's mystery, friendship fiction, or humorous fiction. Humorous fiction, which honestly... I guess you could call it general fiction then, which honestly I really don't read that much general fiction. So maybe I will say this is a new genre to me because I'm not really, like I said, a general fiction girly. I mostly read thriller, fantasy, and romance and romantasy. So I think I'm going to pick this one because it is a general, I think it is a general fiction. I think most of his books are in general fiction. So that is Anxious People by Frederick Bachman. I did put this on my December TBR because I did draw it as as one of the ones in the blind envelopes. I did draw it blindly as one of the picks. But I didn't get to reading it, but I'm going to put it on. I wanted to read it in February. I also really wanted to read Beartown in February, but Beartown is part of a series. I might read that at some point in February, but we'll see because I'm already reading multiple books by the same author. Because, like I said, I really want to read Shatter Me, and I want to read Leigh Bardugo's King of Wolves and, King of Scars and Rule of Wolves. I just combined, both names together. And also, I really want to read Frederick Bachman. So, what was the other one that... Oh, TJ Klune. So, those are already 3 authors that I want to read multiple books from them. So we'll see if I get to more than one book from Frederick Bachman, but we're still putting this one on the TBR because if we only get to one book, it's going to be this one because I've been wanting to read this since I picked it up. And I feel like February is a good month to put Frederick Bachman on my TBR because a lot of people seem to read his books in the winter time. And I was so tempted to read Beartown over Nightingale. And I'm like, no, I really don't want to push off the Nightingale again and move it to February's TBR. So I really wanted to read it this month. So, all right, let's go ahead and pick the last prompt. But maybe we should just pick 2 more. All right, let's see. We got another pink one. Hopefully it's not one of the same ones as before. Okay. I'll be right there. All right, I have to leave, but it says over super hyped, but we're going to pick that after I watch this show with my family. So we're just going to leave everything where it is. So bye. Hey guys, so I am back from watching the show that me and my family were waiting to watch when we were all home together. It's called The Night Agent by on Netflix. Not by. I love how I want to say an author's name, but it's not an author, it's a TV show, but I think it is based on a book. I have to look it up. But anyway, so the last prompt that we were on is, sorry, my leg is itchy, is super hyped. And I do actually have 2 books in mind for this prompt, but I don't think I'm going to pick anything off the cart anymore because we did pick, I think only maybe 5 of these books are going to make it to the TBR, which is still a really decent amount that were on the cart originally. But I think for this prompt, I'm going to pick a Kindle read. But I don't know if it's going to be the first book in a series that I'm already going to be intending on binging this series in February, or it's going to be another book that's been sitting on my Kindle for quite a while that is also a super hyped book. I don't really like saying overhyped. I mean, I did just put over/super hyped. I love how you guys can barely see that. But I don't know if I'm going to put the first book in a series because I already am intending on reading this anyway, or I'm going to say another book that's been sitting on my Kindle for a long time. And I'm trying to read books that I've been sitting on my Kindle for a while. I don't even know if I have it here. Well, I do have it on my Kindle. It's just not on the home page. I don't think I'm going to do this one. And also I have like 10 million new releases coming out in March. But I kind of wanted to have a stacked TBR for February because we're going to talk about the new releases in a minute. But honestly, I don't really have that many new releases at all. But I think I'm just going to say this book because I'm already intending on reading this. And I have put this on my TBR probably twice now. And I still have not gotten to this series. And I feel like since it is a month where I don't have any new releases, I really just want to binge the Shatter Me series. And I feel like out of all the books that are in the series, Shatter Me is definitely the one that is the most overhyped. I feel like everyone reads this book and it has the highest amount of ratings for any of her books. It has 1 million ratings when all the other ones have less than that. So I would say this book is pretty hyped and a lot of people know about this series. So yeah, I think I'm just going to say Shatter Me by Tahereh Mafi, and it's just going to be the first book. And also the first book is available. I mean, it's right here on my shelf, literally right here. But I am actually going to be reading it on Kindle Unlimited because I bought the book way before it was on Kindle Unlimited. But also I only bought the book for like $4 or $5. So, but also if I can read it on Kindle, I'm going to read it on Kindle. And literally only the first book is available on Kindle. And then that way we have a Kindle read. So I think it's going to be Shatter Me. So let's go ahead and go through all the books that I picked. I don't know if I'm just going to pick... no, I need to pick at least one book that was on the wheel. Because I don't think I'm going to get to Honey Witch, and I don't think I'm going to get to Curious Tides. So I think I'm going to put those back on the cart. I was also thinking about picking Verity as super overhyped because this book could count for that prompt as well. But again, I don't want to overwhelm myself. I already have 6 books from the cart that I think is a decent amount. Well, 5 books, but technically it's going to be 6. Because Waybreaker has still not been read yet. So, yeah, I think that's pretty good. We do have some space on the cart now of, having less unread books, which I think is great. And we're just going to adjust this a little bit. I guess I'll put this up here. And then we have less books on the cart. The point is to get rid of these books on the cart, not keep on stacking them. So that looks way better already. So that's definitely less books than we had before. So let's go ahead and go through the picks real quick. I think that these are going to be on my TBR for the month of February, along with the 2 series that I really want to read this month. So that's already going to be 18 books, right? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12, 13. No, that's 14. Why would I think it's 18? 14 books, and then hopefully the other 3 books are going to be the ones that my boyfriend wants me to read, because I am actually going to do a video for those as well. And then maybe one or 2 other Kindle reads. I think that would be a good idea. So these are the books that are going to be going on my February TBR. First up, well, let's try and do them by prompt order. I think the first one, I honestly don't even remember which was the first one I picked. So we're just going to go by the way that they're stacked. So the first one is Brandon Sanderson's Waybreaker. Again, I'm putting this on my freaking monthly TBR because, like I said, I put it on my December TBR and I put it on my January TBR and I still didn't get to it. So hoping we're going to get to it. I'm not reading the synopsis for that one. I've read it enough times. At this point, I'm kind of a little cold on the floor, but I did leave the door open for like 2 hours. I don't know why I'm freezing, but it's okay. We're almost done filming on the floor, and then we're just going to stack the books up there anyway. And then I don't even remember what this prompt was. I don't know why. I remember it's new genre to me, but I don't know. Sometimes I just lose the prompts. I don't know where the hell they go sometimes. I could have sworn it was just in here. But sometimes, like, they just magically disappear into thin air, but... where did it go? I don't know where it went, but anyway, new genre to me would be Frederick Bachman's Anxious People. I really, really want to read this book. I don't know why I said that like a dumbass. Just don't listen to me. Like, sometimes my brain works slower than my actual mouth, so... Well, actually, no. My mouth works slower than my brain sometimes. See? So anyway... Really want to read a Frederick Bachman book this month. Like I said, I really wanted to read Beartown over The Nightingale, but now I'm like so into The Nightingale that I'm definitely going to finish that book. Maybe we'll read Beartown before the month is over, because honestly, that's really the book that I want to read before the month is over. But also, I know that The Nightingale and Beartown are really extremely emotionally, invoking books. I don't know if I want to break my heart twice, but we'll see. But anyway, Anxious People. It says, looking at real estate isn't usually a life or death situation, but an apartment open house becomes just that when a failed bank robber bursts in and takes a group of 8 strangers hostage. Each of them carries a lifetime of grievances, hurts, secrets, and passions that are ready to boil over. None of them is entirely who they appear to be. In short, they are the worst group of hostages in the world, but as the minutes tick by, they begin to suspect that the criminal mastermind holding them hostage might be more in need of rescuing than they are. As the authorities and the media surround the premises, these reluctant allies will reveal surprising truths about themselves and set in motion a chain of events so unexpected that even they can hardly explain what happens next. I just really want to read this. It just sounds like such a unique premise, and I've heard nothing but amazing things about his book, so this one is definitely going to get read in February because I'm dying to get into his book. So that is the first one. And the second one that is definitely going to get read in February, because like I said, this is my romance for February, is Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood. And this is my New York Times bestseller pick. So this one says, rival physicists collide in a vortex of academic feuds and fake dating shenanigans in this delightfully STEMist rom-com from Ali Hazelwood. The many lives of theoretical physicist Elsie Hanaway, say that 3 times fast, have finally caught up with her. By day, she's an adjunct professor toiling away at grading labs and teaching thermodynamics in the hopes of landing tenure. By other day, Elsie Elsie makes up for her non existent paycheck by offering her services as a fake girlfriend, tapping into her expertly honed people pleasing skills to embody whichever version of herself the client needs. Okay. Honestly, it's a pretty sweet gig until her carefully constructed Elsie verse comes crashing down because Jack Smith, the annoyingly attractive and arrogant older brother of her favorite client, turns out to be the cold-hearted experimental physicist who ruined her mentor's career and undermined the reputation of theorists everywhere. And he's the same Jack Smith who rules over the physics department at MIT, standing right between Elsie and her dream job. I'm not going to read the rest of it, but I really, like I said, I really enjoyed Love Hypothesis, so I'm really excited to make this my contemporary romance for February. You guys know how much I love contemporary romance, and I am working on finishing all the books on this shelf this year, but we have to finish the books on the cart, and I'm probably going to put some of those contemporary romance books on the cart for next month now. But honestly, like, one of the main authors that I had on the TBR cart was Allie Hazelwood because I really wanted to read her books throughout the year because, like I said, like, for some reason, I just want to read all of her books. Like, I just really have grown to really like her writing. So, okay, next up is House of the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune, and this one is current fave author, but this is just a fave author in general. Like I said, people said that this is even better than Under the Whispering Door. And Under the Whispering Door was a 6-star read for me. I absolutely love that book. I cried so much at the end. I like held the book and just cried for a straight 5 minutes after I read it. So this one says, a magical island, a dangerous task, a burning secret. Linus Baker is a by-the-book caseworker in the department in charge of magical youth. At 40, he lives in a tiny house with a devious cat and his old records for company, but his quiet life is about to change. Linus is summoned by extremely upper management and given a curious and highly classified assignment. Travel to an orphanage on a distant island and determine whether 6 dangerous magical children are so dangerous, in fact, that they're likely to bring about the end of days. When Linus arrives at the strangest of islands, he's greeted by a series of mysterious figures, the greatest mystery of which is author Parnassus, the master of the orphanage. As Linus and Arthur grow closer, Linus discovers the master would do anything to keep the children safe, even if it means the world has to burn, or worse, his secret comes to light. My God, I cannot wait to read this. It sounds so good. And everybody says this book is amazing. And I've been seeing like this book circulate YouTube again, and a lot of people are reading it right now. So I feel like I'm missing out. I really need to read it because I love his writing. Okay, and then this one was, I forgot what the prompt was for this one. Oh my God, where is it? Go to the bookstore, which, like I said, this is literally the most recent book I just picked up. So I think that counts. I mean, that's technically a book I just bought. But at the same time, like, we'll see if we end up going to the bookstore and picking up another book. But that doesn't necessarily mean I have to read those books that I just bought. Like, I already had a prompt like that with the X-Vows back in like September or October. I think it was October actually. And it said book I just bought was the prompt. So this one is She's Not Sorry by Mary Kabika. And this is why I picked it up. I'll tell you guys in a minute. So it says, everyone has secrets, but not everyone has remorse. Megan Michaels is trying to find her balance between being a single mom to a teenage daughter and working as a full-time nurse. While Megan is on duty at the hospital one day, a patient named Caitlin, that's my name, and she literally spells it the same exact way as I do. Caitlin. I'm like, I'm picking this up. And it matches my nail polish. Like, oh my God. Caitlin arrives in a coma with a traumatic brain injury. I'm okay, guys, by the way. After jumping from a bridge and plunging over 20 feet to the train tracks below. Damn. But when a witness comes forward with shocking details about the fall, it calls everything they know into question. Was Caitlin pushed, and if so, by whom and why? Ooh. Megan has always tried to stay emotionally detached from her patients, but this time she mistakenly lets herself get too close until she's deeply entangled in Caitlin's life. Only when it's too late does she realize that she and her daughter could be the next victims. Ooh, that sounds so good. All these books sound amazing. Okay, and then the last one is The Humans by Matt Haig. We're going to try and get to this in February, but honestly, this would be a really good pick because I've been trying to get through Matt Haig's backlist. I don't know if I said this when I was reading The Life Impossible, but I've said before he's one of my favorite authors, so I am going to try and get to this book in February. I'm not really sure if it will happen. It says the best-selling, award-winning author of the Radleys is back with what may be his best, funniest, and most devastating dark comedy yet. The Humans is a rollicking novel about math and murder, poetry and peanut butter, and casts a sharp eye on the triumphs and foible. Oh my god, I can't speak. I can't say that word. Triumphs and tragedies, I guess, of our weird and wonderful species. I said species. I don't know this word. Foibles? Let me see. My mom, of course, ended up just walking the dogs, even though I was gonna do it in like 2 seconds. Let's see. I need to look up that word. Foibles. Foibles. A minor weakness or eccentricity in someone's character. Foibles. I don't think I've ever heard that word. Or maybe I have. I've never like seen it in like a description like that or like really in a book. So I guess I'm dumb. But yeah, that is the last book from the TBR cart. And now we are going to go through just the 2 series real quick. Oh, let me tell you guys about the new releases. But honestly, I don't think I'm going to pick up any new releases in February, you guys. Like, meaning I'm not going to read them right away when they come out. Because honestly, I'm not really interested in either of these new releases. And I might pick up this one, but I'm not going to read it till like later on. Unless it gets more hype, but the first one is Deep End by Ali Hazelwood, and this is the newest romance release by Miss Ali Hazelwood. But since I already have, I was going to point to the card again, I don't know why. Since I already have Love Theoretically on my list for my romance pick, I don't think I'm going to read this in February, but, you know, knock on wood, who knows? Like, I might just be part of the hype, but honestly, I really do just want to read Love Theoretically, and like I said, it comes out February 4th. What I don't understand is why does all the new romance releases, why do all the new romance releases come out in, like, May and June? And, like, April, May, June, when it's like, why don't some of them come out during February, like during Valentine's Day? Like, I know like all of them would be stupid because like then all of them would be like competing with each other, but it's like, it's just Ali Hazelwood, but hey, that's smart that hers is coming out earlier. So it says a competitive diver and an ace swimmer jump into forbidden waters in this steamy college romance from Ali Hazelwood. Scarlett Vandermeer is swimming upstream. A junior at Stanford and a student athlete who specializes in platform diving, Scarlett prefers to keep her head down, concentrating on getting into med school and on recovering from the injury that almost ended her career. She has no time for relationships, at least that's what she tells herself. Swim captain, world champion, all-around aquatics golden boy, Lucas Blomqvist thrives on discipline. It's how he wins gold medals and breaks records, complete focus with every stroke. On the surface, Lucas and Scarlett have nothing in common until a well-guarded secret slips out and everything changes. That's all I'm going to read from the synopsis. But it sounds fun, but again, it's not something I'm like rushing to read when it comes out. And then the next one, I probably will read this by the end of February, but again, it is not something I am running to go buy. I'm just going to buy this on Kindle, by the way. It comes out February 18th, and that is Rebel Witch by Kristen Ciccarelli. Like I've said before, I am one of the people in the minority besides Booked and Busy, because she's like literally the only other person that I've seen that said that this book was very disappointing and she didn't really understand the hype. And I was like, I didn't really understand the hype either, because like I said about even Metal Slinger, I liked more than this book, and I don't think Metal Slinger is that great, but I do think Metal Slinger has a more unique concept than Rebel Witch. Then Heartless Hunter, But anyway, this is the sequel to Heartless Hunter. And it says, the stakes are even higher in this epic romantic conclusion to the sequel to Heartless Hunter. Rune Winters is on the run. Ever since the boy she loved, Gideon Sharp, revealed who she was and delivered her into enemy hands, everyone wants her dead. If Rune hopes to survive, she must ally herself with the cruel and dangerous Cressida Roseblood, who's planning to take back the Republic and resonate a reign of witches. Something Cressida needs Rune to accomplish, a witch hunter. Apparently, it wasn't enough for Rune to deceive Gideon. She's now betrayed him by allying herself with the witch who has made his life a living hell. Gideon won't allow the Republic to fall to the witches and be plunged back into the nightmares of the past. That's all I'm going to read for people that haven't read it yet, and for people who want to go into it blindly or avoid spoilers. I don't want to read the whole synopsis, and honestly, I could care less. But I'm probably not going to read it until like the very end of February or like the beginning of March. But honestly, it's not something I'm going to go out and rush to read. If I do read it, it's not going to be until like the very last 2 days of February. And then on March 1st, I just have a short story coming out. So it probably will work out perfectly. So we'll be able to work on all these books that I have on my February TBR, which will be great because then I don't have to worry about any new releases and like clearing my physical TBR to read those new releases. So now we're just going to go through those really quickly. Okay, so this is my very ambitious February TBR, but honestly, since I wasn't able to necessarily binge series in January, we have 2 more series that I have on my TBR. I already am putting back King of Scars and Rule of Wolves on my February TBR, and these are probably going to be some of the first books read in February because I wasn't able to get to them in January. So as long as we read these 2 books, then we're good. I'm already getting anxiety looking at this. It's like, damn girl, that's a lot of books. But I really want to read these again because I really want to get back to the Grishaverse and complete my Grishaverse journey, and I just really want to read these. Also, this is available on Kindle Unlimited, so I'll be able to use my Kindle to read it, and then this one I will just have to read physically because it's not on Kindle Unlimited. But they're such beautiful books, and plus I didn't even pay for these because I used a gift card to buy them. I didn't know that King of Scars was on Kindle Unlimited, but again, it's okay because I probably would have picked them up anyway. I don't know why I'm going backwards, but I just wanted to say that because it was on my January TBR. And then I just picked this up today. We have the second book in the House of Cerulean Sea duology, which is Somewhere Beyond the Sea. And honestly, I've been eyeing this book for months, and I think I'm definitely going to read both of them in February. But again, since we have no new releases in February, I think I'll be able to read all of these books, but you know, it is what it is. But anyway, this is the second book called Somewhere Beyond the Sea. It has yellow sprayed edges, and honestly, I want to read this book so badly. It says, Arthur Parnassus, welcome back to Maurice's Island. Arthur Parnassus lives a good life built on the ashes of a bad one. He's the headmaster of a strange orphanage on a distant and peculiar island, and he hopes to soon be the adopted father to 6 magical and so-called dangerous children who live there. Is that what the first one said? No. Okay. I was like, is that just a repeat of the first synopsis? Arthur works hard and loves with his whole heart, so none of the children ever feel the neglect and pain that he once felt as an orphan on that very same island so long ago. And he is not alone. Joining him in the love of his life is the love of his life. Oh my God. Linus Baker, a former caseworker in the department in charge of magical youth, Zoe Zoe Chapel White. Why do I say Zoe? The island sprite and her girlfriend, Mayor Helen Webb. Together, they will do anything to protect the children. Okay, so a lot of sapphic representation in this, which I love. So I'm so excited. I cannot wait to read these. I'm kind of like working on reading all of TJ Klune's books. So if I read this duology, then I will have read 3 of his books, and I'll be so excited because I've been wanting to read his books for so long. And like I said, reading Under the Whispering Door was such a magical experience to me. I mean, it did make me so emotional, but again, I loved that book so much. And again, we have the Shatter Me series, and like I said, this is my super overhyped prompt, but this is a very, very hyped book. So we have Shatter Me, Unravel Me, Ignite Me, Restore Me, Defy Me, and Imagine Me. I don't know if I'm going to go into Shatter Me first or King of Scars first for my series for February, but we're just going to have to see. My boyfriend keeps on pushing me to read The Hobbit, so I might have to read that, but I'll just be like, sorry, I'm finishing another book right now. You're just going to have to wait. But yeah, this is my February TBR, and also Good Omens is still here. But honestly, I have been very, very on the fence about this book. I'm also going to take the prompt out of this one and put that back in the jar, which is, again, the out of my comfort zone prompt that I still didn't get to. And hopefully we'll be able to use the envelopes in March, and we'll probably maybe just do a blind TBR. I'm not really sure yet. But again, we have a lot of new releases in March. So like I said, with February, I had a little bit more wiggle room and was able to do a more ambitious TBR because we have no new releases. But I'm very on the fence with Neil Gaiman because even though it's a collab book, Neil Gaiman is a fucking monster, and it's not like I bought this book, though. It is my boyfriend's book. He probably just never returned this to the library, to be honest, but I don't know if I really want to read this. I mean, I already watched the Amazon show, and like I said, I don't really like reading books that I've already seen the show for. Like Game of Thrones, I'm probably never going to read those books because I've seen the entire show, even though I know it's not even the same. How many times can I rhyme? Show, I know, even though. But I don't know. I again rhymes, but I'm not really sure about this one, but we will see. I kind of keep on pushing it off because I don't really care because I don't really like Neil Gaiman. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 books on my physical TBR. And then if we do read, well, I do have 2 on my Kindle because we're going to read Shatter Me and King of Scars on Kindle. So technically we only have 12. I'm not really counting Good Omens because I'm not really even sure about that book. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Did I just miscount the first time? I don't know. And maybe we'll just mood read a Kindle read or something on, again, something that's been sitting on my Kindle for a while. Either The Lost Bookshop or Beartown, but I think I'm going to read Beartown this month still. I'm not really sure. I just am dying to get to that book. And like I said, I really want to read something on my Kindle, but then I would end up reading like 2 back-to-back Kindles. It also depends on how long it takes me to finish The Nightingale, but I think I'm going to need 3 days to read that book, so I was only going to have time to like incorporate 1 more Kindle read probably, and then The Crash and Out of the Woods, which are my 2 new releases that I was going to pick up Out of the Woods. The Crash by Freida McFadden is on Kindle Unlimited. All of her books are on Kindle Unlimited, which is great because I never have to spend any money on her books. which is awesome because, you know, books are expensive. We like to save our money when we can. But what was I going to say? Again, since I had no new releases this month, I think I'm going to try and tackle as many of my books on my physical TBR as we can. And since I did do a number of how many books were on my physical TBR like literally 2 days ago, I will knock off 1, 2, 3. I'm not counting the ones that I just bought because those weren't in that. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That would be 13. So 104 minus 13 would be 91, which would be awesome because then I would be under 100 bucks on my physical TBRs. I think that would be amazing. So yeah, that's it. I'm going to go. So please like and subscribe. Follow me on my Instagram at TBW819 and check out my Poshmark at the same handle. Let me know what you guys are reading in February. Have you read any of these series or books? I really would like to know. And I hope you guys have a great day, night, whatever it may be. And I hope you guys oh my god, I cannot speak. Please keep reading. Bye. Okay, so hey guys. So we did a bit of switcheroonies with the TBR. So first off, I had already started this book, but what I was going to do, since I know I'm not going to be able to finish this book in January, but I have been reading it over the past couple days on my Kindle, we are just going to swap this book for Anxious People by Frederick Bachman because this still fulfills the new genre to me prompt, but it's also by the same author, which is Beartown by Frederick Bachman. I actually, like I said, I've been reading this on my Kindle already. I'm on page like 80. So I started it like a couple days ago while I was waiting for The Crash by Frida McFadden to come out. I was like, I really wanted to start this because I wanted to read this over The Nightingale, but then I ended up finally reading The Nightingale, and then I saw that Beartown was literally $1.99 on Kindle. So I'm like, $1.99, of course I'm going to buy it on Kindle. That's so cheap. So I already started this, and this is a hockey fiction, like hockey literature is what the genre is. And honestly, I've never read anything hockey related. And this is so good so far, but I'm not going to finish it until February. So it's still technically on my February TBR, and it's already fulfilling that new genre to me prompt. So that is going to be the first swap that I have. And then the other swap that I have is actually incorporating another romance, because that's also why I pulled out Anxious People, because I'm like, I kind of want another romance in February because it is Valentine's Day for me. I like to read a romance during that time. And I think this is definitely going to be my Valentine's Day read. So I actually just picked this up yesterday, and I have been dying to get to a Sarah Adams book. So I am going to be reading Sarah Adams' Beg, Borrow, or Steal in the month of February. This is probably going to be my Valentine's Day read. And I'm really excited for it. I was a little hesitant to pick it up because, one, I hadn't read the other two books in the When in Rome series. And this is also a new release for January because it came out January 7th. But as you guys know, I already read all my January releases that I said in my TBR video, which was No Place Left to Hide. Well, this video, duh. No Place Left to Hide, Four Ruined Realms, The Crash, Onyx Storm, of course. And now, like I said, I don't know if I said what I'm currently reading because I just filmed a clip for another video. To start a new reading vlog for the month of February, but I'm currently reading Out of the Woods by Hannah Boehm Young. I actually didn't show you guys this one yet. So it's going to be in a reading vlog because it's obviously in my new releases vlog. So this is, again, the last new release I was able to get to because it literally came out 2 days ago and I read The Crash before this one. So I'm on page 62. I picked it up the day that it came out, but like I said, I was reading The Crash, which was awful, by the way. But so far, this is so good. So far, so good. So I hope to get at least another like 40 or 50 pages in before like dinner, and then we'll read a bit more later. But since I am home today, I need to read a bit more than this. But so far, I really like it. So anyway, we are going to add beg, borrow, or steal. And I also looked up because I wanted to read Practice Makes Perfect before I read this, and I was actually thinking about taking it out of the library because, I'm trying to get less books this year, but, I got that bad news about my nail yesterday. So I was like, the only thing that makes me feel better is when I buy books. Even though I'm already going book shopping on Saturday, but I'm picking up like a completely different book then. And I might possibly add that to my February TBR as well. But I didn't want to overwhelm myself a little bit too much. So yeah, I'm going to be reading this. But also, I looked up whether or not you could read this as a standalone, and it says yes, you can read it completely as a standalone. So, I don't know, yell at me if I shouldn't, but I'm just gonna read this. I mean, I have until Valentine's Day to decide, but I really wanted this to be my first book from her because, like, a lot of people have been giving it really good reviews, and they actually are saying that this might be the best one in the When in Rome series. So, I'm like, I'll just work on reading her books like throughout the year, but I think I'm not going to read the cheat sheets series because I've heard those aren't as good as these ones are. So my series already picking me up. So I'm going to read this, and I have two more audiobooks to talk about because like I said, Beautiful Ugly was going to be my audiobook for February, but also I started listening to another one. And I honestly was really thinking about reading this book in February anyway. So I used my Everand credit to get The Favorites by Lane Fargo. And I actually already started listening to it because I've been listening to it since last night. And I'm on chapter 27 already. I mean, the chapters are so short. Like, I'm talking like about 4 minutes or less chapters. Like, the longest chapter has been like 8 minutes so far, but it's not even that long. And I'm already like over an hour into it because I listened to it at like 2 times the speed. And it's already addicting. Like, let me just grab my water. I feel like I'm talking too much already. But this seems to be like the book of the moment right now because everybody was raving about this in January. And also, I watched another YouTuber's video. I forget her name. I watched her yesterday, and she is exclusively an audiobook reader because she can't really like hold physical books. She has like a problem doing that. I forget what it is. But basically, she said that she listened to a sample of this because she did get it as her book of the month in January, and this book was available for book of the month in January, but I didn't get a physical book. I didn't want to but I should have just gotten this audiobook, but I got Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney, which I did already start listening to as well, but I'm going to continue both of these throughout the month of February, so they're going to be my audiobooks for February. So I'm so excited to continue listening to it because so far it is so good. But she had said that she listened to the YouTuber that I'm talking about. She said that she had listened to a sample of it, and she said it was multiple narrators. And then I was like, ooh, like I might not even get the the Kindle version because the Kindle version was $13. I'm like, I'm trying not to spend that much on Kindle. Like, if something's not available on Kindle Unlimited, I tend to not buy it unless it's like a hugely anticipated release for me, like Fearless or well, I think that's like literally the only other one I'm gonna order on Kindle besides like maybe two other reads in March that I might purchase physically. Um But anyway, she said that she had played a sample of it and she was like, it's so good. And then when I played the sample of this, there's like background like news reporter music and there's like news reporter voices. And I'm like, yes, I'm just getting the audiobook. I don't even want to get the physical book because I know this is going to be amazing. And so far, I'm loving it. So definitely adding the favorites to the February TBR as well. But I'll be able to finish that because it's just an audiobook. Oh, yeah. And then I do have two Kindle reads that I forgot to talk about that I want to read in February. So, because we're trying to incorporate more Kindle reads, and also these are both on Kindle Unlimited. And they were also both on my TBR for January, but I just didn't end up getting to it. I still read 3 Kindle reads in January, which was The Crash, Four Ruined Realms, and Rock, Paper, Scissors, and they were all included in Kindle Unlimited. So I'm trying to read at least 3 books from Kindle Unlimited a month because people say, like, you know, you want to get your money's worth out of the membership, that I don't want to, like, not read Kindle reads, because it's like then I save more money, you know, just paying for the subscription, and I want to make my subscription worth it. So I ended up reading 3, and then I'm on my 4th, which is Beartown, but Beartown again was only $1.99, and I'm just reading that, which is not part of Kindle Unlimited. So the first one is The Lost Bookshop by Evie Woods. I actually have started this and I've been reading it throughout the month, but I haven't gotten very far. Like, I'm talking about like page 25, because I did want to read this after The Nightingale, but I was like, I really wanted to read Beartown before January was over, or like at least, you know, for the first week or two, or like the first like couple days of February, because I wanted to read it in the winter time. So, I'm hoping to read The Lost Bookshop throughout like February, or like read it at some point in February, but I really do want to read it still. And then the other one is The North is the Night. I just don't remember the author's name. And that one was also on my January TBR. So I tried to get through what I could on my January TBR. And like I said, I did a pretty good job, including new releases. You know, there were 5 new releases this month. So that means I only read 11 more, because I ended up reading 16 books in January, or I'm about to, because I'm going to finish Out of the Woods, and that's going to be my last book for January. It only left room for 11 books, and it's not like that's not a good number. And then I did do a reread of Fourth Wing and Iron Flame to get ready for Onyx Storm. And a reread was like listening to the audiobooks. I didn't read the physical copies. So anyway, so that took up some of my time as well. But 16 books is still great, because my goal was 15. Because I was trying to take my time a little bit more with books and not like crank out a million books like I did in December. But December, I was in such a reading mood, it's not even funny. So I just felt so accomplished reading all those series, but it is what it is. So anyway, it's called The North is the Night, which is the Nila duet, so it's going to be 2 books. I can't even pronounce that properly, by Emily Rath. The Tulanola whatever duet, I definitely butchered that name. So yeah, I do still want to read this. I've seen very mixed reviews about it though. I don't know. It is a longer book, so it depends on... I do want to read this before the winter is over, though, so I'm still going to put it on my February TBR as my 2 Kindle reads, and then I also have Shatter Me. I don't know if I said this before, but Shatter Me and King of Scars are both available in Kindle Unlimited. But I was also thinking about getting the audiobook for King of Scars as well. I feel like I have a big audiobook TBR this month. I have at least 3 or 4 books that I want to listen to this month. And I'm usually able to listen to like 1 or 2. I did finish Project Hail Mary, which was great. So, but anyway, let me not keep on giving spoilers for my January reads and my wrap up. Let me just talk about my February TBR. So King of Scars is only $7.50 on Audible, I mean, and King of Wolves, Rule of Wolves, I would be able to get it with my Audible credit, and I'm thinking about just getting that, because like I said, I already got the favorites from Everand, so I need to decide what I want to get from my Audible credit. But Rule of Wolves is like double the price if you pay for it as compared to King of Scars, when King of Scars is only $7.50. So, like I said, I don't pay more than $7.50 for my audiobooks unless I have a credit, then they're free. But yeah, so that's about it. I'm gonna stop bending your ear. Oh my god. Let me not fall over too. Oh my god, this is such a long video. So yeah, that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed, and oh yeah, there's one. Oh my god. There might be another audiobook that I want to listen to this month, or I might just save it for March because I'm already reading two books by TJ Klune, which is House of the Cerulean Sea and Somewhere Beyond the Sea. I've been dying to get to them. I'm definitely reading them in February. There's no question about that. I want to read them so badly. But let me just see. There is a new, it's not a new release. I think it was just recently republished because when I was looking at it, it said it's being published February 4th of 2025, but I think I just got a a new cover. But all the comments are from like 6 years ago. And I was like, when did this book come out? And it came out like literally 6 years ago. So it's called The Bones Beneath My Skin by TJ Klune. And like I said, it's being republished in February on February 4th. But also, Book of the Month is going to have this available as an audiobook in February. And I'm thinking about getting for my audiobook pick from Book of the Month is this book. Because, like I said, I want to read as many TJ Klune books as I possibly can this year because I adored Under the Whispering Door. And I'm still reading The House of the Cerulean Sea duology. So I might save this book for March because, like I said, I'm already going to be listening to The Favorites and Beautiful Ugly. And then I'm just going to probably listen to this in March. I still have The Corning of Bristol Keats on Book of the Month as well. But I've also seen very mixed reviews about it too. So I don't know if I'm going to get to that in February, but it's by Mary E. Pearson. I'll just put that on the TBR randomly, but I don't know if I'm going to get to it still. But as long as I listen to Beautiful Ugly, because I'm not even listening to my audiobooks from Book of the Month, I just keep on racking them up. I did listen to The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year, and then Beautiful Ugly was my audiobook for January from Book of the Month, and I started it. But since I was so hooked on I was like, oh shit, I have my Everand credit. I can just get The Favorites. Then I just started listening to that and I'm just like so addicted. But I did start Beautiful Ugly. So both of them will be finished in February. They're not very long audiobooks. They're only 6 to 7 hours and I should be able to finish those in like a week within each other. So, and they're both so good so far. And I wanted to read more Alice Feeney, but I'd rather start listening to that more in February because I already read an Alice Feeney book at the very beginning of the month, which was Rock, Paper, Scissors. So I really enjoyed it. So I really wanted to read more from Alice Feeney because I thought it was good. So yeah, that is it. I'm going to go. Bye. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. I already recorded an outro, so I'm not going to record another one to talk your ear off some more. But I'm about to go edit this video anyway. So bye. Keep reading. Bye. Oh, and I'm sorry. Super, super, super quick. But the number wheel method with the TBR cart didn't really work out for me. So what I'm going to do, I literally just filmed this clip earlier, is that I'm going to use a number wheel to decide which books I'm going to read first in February on my TBR already for my February TBR. And I just filmed that clip and I already picked the books that I was going to read. So I picked 3. And you guys will see that I actually used the number wheel to pick out the books I want to read in February. So I thought that was a lot better method of doing it than the way I did it in this video. So yeah, so you guys will be able to see that and you'll see the books that I read in that. So yeah, bye.